Hey, what's up, guys? It's Tommy here, and I'm a trans man living in Florida. It's been quite the day, quite the week, quite the year so far. We're definitely dealing with some very times. So, just a quick little update. I myself am doing okay. I am safe. I am doing the things that I can do to protect my peace and just kind of staying afloat, staying informed without necessarily staying inundated in bad news, right? Because if you're a trans guy, your existence or the way you choose to live your existence is being threatened. So there's that. And then there's also always that religious factor of people that feel like somehow your existence demeans their religion. So there's that. But that's always existed. So I want to touch on today just like how to keep your peace in the midst of this storm. I feel like as a trans person, I am really good at keeping my peace now. Mainly because my entire life, I've had things always try to take it away. I'll give you a really good example. I remember something simple as just wanting to play drums, right? Just wanted to play a musical instrument. There should be no gender when it comes to your musical instrument, but there was. There was, oh, girls don't play drums, so therefore you can't do this. And that's kind of how my entire life has always been. You can't do this because you're XYZ, or you don't deserve to do this because you're XYZ. We deserve to disturb your peace and tell you that you don't belong here because you are XYZ. And in the Bible, it says XYZ. And we could put anything in there because I've had just about everywhere. So I believe that my transition was more than just feeling good in my body, but finding peace within myself. And those took steps beyond transition also. So how am I applying what I've learned throughout my life to today? Well, one, I want to preface this by I am not perfect, and this day and age is like basically walking a landmine full of triggers, and you're just trying to do the best you can day to day. Sometimes I live my day second by second. Just try to get to the next second. Cool. Just try to get to the next point because it feels like there's so many reasons why I'm nervous. I'll give you one that has nothing to do with my transness. I am a naturalized citizen of the United States, and there are rumors through the grapevine that they're going to take away these things from people. I don't know what their selection process is or whatever, or even if I don't really care. I think that sucks because if you are a legal alien or a legal person in this country, which nobody is illegal or legal, so please don't take my language as I believe. I'm just trying to give you guys the idea of what's going on. But in my case, I paid to be here twice, right? You actually have to pay to get into the system. My parents came here to this country legally. I was brought here since I was 5. So I'm basically American. I don't know another place in terms of living. I've visited other countries, yes, but in terms of living in other countries, I lived here in America since I was 5 years old. So to say that somehow because I'm a naturalized citizen, I'm not American, it's a little weird to me. So, but it makes me nervous because they're trying to deport people like myself. Obviously, the gender markers and things of that nature also make me nervous because it doesn't allow you to have any type of privacy. My transition was for me to live comfortable within myself and to find peace. I should be able to choose who knows my business. In certain situations, you just kind of want to go incognito. You just want peace, basically. Because I find that still to this day, even though it's a more accepted topic, it's still pretty much taboo, and there's still a lot of misinformation and disinformation about being trans. So no, excuse me. So we have a lot of, or I, excuse me, have a lot of reasons to be in anxiety and at odds. So getting to what is actually working for me is this. Not only am I limiting my social media and being very careful with how I read the headlines and what they're supposed to make me want to react to. I'm also in this state of like, I've been through a lot of different things and I always come out on the other side somehow, some way. And maybe this is just another thing that I'm going to come out the other side of. And what I'm really mad at is just having to do one more thing to have to come out of the other side of that I didn't necessarily ask for. Or I feel like sometimes as trans people, we're being punished just for being. That's it. You medically transition, right? Some of us do, to feel better within ourselves, and that confident, loving, compassionate person comes out, and the world is a lot easier for us to deal with. And the world deals with us easier, and it feels like some people are just mad because of that, Or there's a few people who live their truth a little more, a little differently than mine, so they're pissed off at that. It's just like an area of anger. There's a book that I'm reading called High Conflict. I forget the author's name, but it's also helping me to understand a tad bit more about the conflict between the red and the blue coats. I call it that, and why we went from just like having like disagreements to all out war with each other and saying some really vile things. I'm pretty sure that right now somebody's singing something horribly vile about me, right? And it's kind of like, well, you don't really know me. You just know what they say of me, and they don't know me either, not personally at least. So, but that book has definitely taught me some things, in conflict is a necessary evil of life, but there's different types of conflict. There's conflict in which people have a disagreement, you somehow become closer after the agreement is settled. And then there's conflict like we have now, which is high conflict, which is, well, it could start a war, right? Who wants that? So those are things I'm doing. Just reading books, helping me stay informed in other ways to have handle things, and also just kind of staying clear and figuring out how to handle my triggers better so that I can be in the world without being an anxiety filled mess. That's basically what I'm doing. And so my wish for you is that you also feel good in the world and learn to handle your triggers because they're yours. Unfortunately, the world doesn't really want to compromise or make you feel comfortable. So you're going to have to figure out how to be comfortable in this uncomfortable world that we live in. So, yeah, I wish you the best. I really do. I'll see you guys next week.